Donald Trump isn't just a scam artist. He's also a serial flip-flopper. Now, for example, he's flipped on the Muslim ban. For example, he said, okay, first he said no to Muslims, then he said, okay, we'll get some Muslims, like friends and people in the military, not to mention the rich Muslims that are my friends. Then, okay, so the Muslim ban, not really anything, it was just a suggestion. I'm just kidding, not a suggestion. We need to ban the Muslims, but only from countries with histories of terrorism, or just all of them. Let's ban them all, or let's not. But you know what? It's not actually about the Muslims, but it is. And by the way, the ban is negotiable, even though it's not, and let's not call them Muslims. Those are his positions throughout the entire campaign on one single policy. If that was hard to get through, well, I share that same concern, right? Because that was very difficult to get through. All those differing positions on one single policy. And that's not the only one. There's more. His position on minimum wage went from, oh, the wages are too high. We need to get rid of the wages. Let's get rid of the minimum wage. Okay, how about we have it to $10 an hour, but it should be at $10 an hour, but let's have the states decide what's better, even though I'd like it at $10 an hour. And now it's, let's just raise it to $10 an hour. Contradictory, man. Now, look, if you're a Trump supporter, for example, like Ann Coulter, a lot of that's forgivable, right? Because really, it's all about getting rid of those damn pesky illegal aliens. That's the number one priority, right? Build that wall, get those illegals out. All that other stuff is negotiable for Trump supporters, but the immigration thing, especially for Ann Coulter, for example, all that's negotiable except for the immigrants. You got to get them out. Got to get them out. So surely Donald Trump wouldn't flip-flop on that, right? Well, look, Donald Trump was asked during an appearance on Fox News' Hannity. There's a town hall, right? And he was asked about his initial pledge to deport those people that are in the United States illegally, and if he would include an exception for people who have proven to be good citizens. Let's take a look at some of that town hall.
So now we have the person, 20 years, been an upstanding person. The family's great. Everyone's great. Do we throw them out, or do we work with them and try and do something? Okay, ready?
Well,
ready?
how many say work with them?
Number one, we'll say throw out. Number two, we work with them. Ready? Number one.
Number two.
two.
Now wait, but this is important, because so you're saying there is, and you have been sort of indicating that there will be some flexibility, that you originally you had said they're all out and there was a big brouhaha, but you're saying that if somebody can prove that they've been here, proven to be a citizen, but well, here's the big question though.
Go ahead.
No citizenship.
No citizenship. No citizenship.
Everyone agree with that? All right.
I mean, go a step further. They'll pay back taxes. They have to pay taxes. There's no amnesty as such. There's no amnesty.
Right.
But we work with them. Now, okay, but when I look at the rooms, and I have this all over, now, everybody agrees we get the bad ones out. But when I go through and I meet thousands and thousands of people on this subject, and I've had very strong people come up to me, really great, great people come up to me, and they've said, Mr. Trump, I love you. But to take a person that's been here for 15 or 20 years and throw them and the family out, it's so tough, Mr. Trump. I mean, I have it all the time. It's a very, very hard thing.
We're going to let the good ones stay, pay taxes, but don't worry, it's not amnesty, it's not amnesty. No. They're not going to be actual citizens, no. But we'll let them stay as long as they pay their taxes. And they're not criminals. Now, look, that plan sounds awfully familiar. Once again, no citizenship, but can be here legally and pay taxes. Now, where have I heard that plan before?
I believe there ought to be a path to legal status where people come out from the shadows, they pay a fine. By the way, many people here without documents do pay taxes. But they would pay taxes. All of people would pay taxes with a work permit. They wouldn't commit crimes. And over an extended period of time, they wouldn't receive federal government assistance. Over an extended period of time, they would earn legal status. They wouldn't cut in line with people that have been patiently waiting.
So basically, he just stole Jeb Bush's immigration plan. Now, I remember during the primary where, Jeb Bush was doing this plan. The immigration's out of love and putting this plan forward. And these same Trump voters, the ones who are in the video, they're like, oh, yeah, keep the good ones, kick out the bad ones, right? And saying that they agree with this plan in this town hall. Well, they didn't like Jeb Bush. In fact, this is what they did to Jeb Bush.
That's it? Thank you. You're kicking me out the door. You're kicking me out the door.
Governor, thank you very much for joining us today.
That's never not funny. Oh, man. Could you imagine today Jeb Bush picking up the New York Times or whatever, right? The Miami Herald or something, and he looks at it and he's like, son of a bitch. Donald Trump just took my immigration plan. Oh, God, that campaign was so pathetic. It's so sad, so pathetic. But it never gets old. But look, seriously, though, that's a flip-flop. Make no mistake, that's a flip-flop. Major. Now, before I kind of wrap up this whole segment, I do want to throw this fact out there, right? Now, both of those plans, the Jeb Bush plan, which is now the Donald Trump plan, they talk about, you got to pay back taxes, right? You got to pay the back taxes. You got to pay taxes. Immigrants don't pay taxes. They're sucking off the system. It's actually not true. Undocumented immigrants, as Jeb Bush had said in that video, pay taxes. According to a report by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, at the state and local level alone, undocumented immigrants nationwide collectively pay an estimated, get this, $11.64 billion a year in taxes. They oftentimes, get this is even worse, oftentimes paying more in state and local taxes than somebody like Donald Trump or Jeb Bush. That same study found that undocumented immigrants nationwide pay on average 8% of their incomes into state and local governments. In contrast, the top 1% was found to pay on average nationwide a rate of just 5.4%. You got undocumented immigrants that are paying more into state and local taxes than citizens, than the richest citizens in this nation. Now, what else did they find? Well, this study found that they estimate that giving undocumented immigrants legal status, their state and local contributions would actually increase by an estimated $2.1 billion a year. So you give them legal status, you do comprehensive immigration reform, and guess what? You actually can collect more tax revenue from undocumented immigrants who will now be legal immigrants. See, the whole point is keeping them illegal costs us and them much, much more than giving them a legal status and eventually a pathway to citizenship. And look, they don't get government assistance. They never have gotten government assistance. In fact, we kind of screw them over, to be honest with you. They pay state and local taxes. They get nothing from the government in return. And oftentimes, they get abused by their employers who will hire them, pay them very, very low wages, and often mistreat them. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the government to tell you, hey, my boss is mistreating me. Oh, really? We'll look into that. Oh, you're an undocumented immigrant. You got to go, buddy. They have no recourse. They have absolutely no recourse. So look, keep those facts in mind whenever you hear some bullshit about undocumented immigrants paying taxes and living off the government dole. It's not true. It's not true. Okay, it's a lie. Now, as far as Donald Trump goes, look, dude's a flip-flopper. He's a flip-flopper, he's a charlatan, he's a con man that will essentially tell you whatever you want to hear as long as in the end you end up supporting him. you end up supporting him. So, and look, his latest flip-flop on the immigration issue is just another in a long line of flip-flops and pivots and reset buttons. And so, look, he's got a pattern to this. This is what he does. And we'll see how long this pivot lasts. Hey everybody, if you like this video, then please like this video and share. And if you want to see more like this, then please hit that subscribe button below.